Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Another episode here of how can I say this? Uh, America, America uh, under no immigration, I should say. America under no immigration. So I guess Trump finally did it. He finally did it. He closed off immigration, and I don't blame him. Actually, if you've been watching my video and since maybe January, and if you've been keeping up with my Rad Power Bikes ride along, I actually talked about how closing borders would probably be a big deal.
And so border protection is going to be a really big deal. Border protection. That's going to be a hot button issue as this coronavirus starts spreading. Anybody who wants to talk about open borders, they've already lost the election, people.
And not only would it be a big deal, it would be a big deal to the point where it's going to help the next candidate get into the presidential office, either reelected or elected. And of course, if you don't understand by now that President Trump has always been about borders, so he was already way ahead of the game before any of his opposition. And so there's just really no way that I, at this point in time, I'm not trying to be political, but there's just no way in time, no point in, there's just no way that the opposition is going to, in my opinion, get elected at this point in time. There's a lot of things that can change, but there's another 4 to 5 months, 6 months, I think. Election's going to be here. That's not really a lot of time. So between now and then, something drastic has to happen, which could. There's still a black swan within a black swan within a black swan event that can still happen before the November election. But I'll get into that a little bit later. I'm just ranting right now. I'll talk a little bit about my day. One of the reasons, well, this episode of the America Under, or the COVID-19 videos that I'm doing, I usually do them like the day of. Right now it's like 7:23 p.m. I usually wait until this website here, COVID.bio, updates. They usually update around 7:01 p.m. So it's April 21st, 2020, 7:01 p.m. is when it updates, and that's usually, I try to catch that, and that way all the other sites that I update and refresh, kind of, they're all at the same time, and I get that out either later tonight or tomorrow, April 22nd. But I'm recording this as of right now, 7:23 p.m., April 21st, 2020. So, anyways, I won't be doing too much of this. I'll probably do it once in a while now. I've been trying to do it every day, but sometimes I get too tired. And also, I am now riding the electric bike. I'm back on the Rad Mini because my Rad Rover is dusted. my Rad Rover is out of commission. If you don't know, I jackknifed the Rad Rover and broke my right hand, fourth and fifth metacarpal. So it's healed up really well. I still feel a little strain on the bone, but I think over time that's going to go away. It's probably in a still in hard callus, but starting remodeling. In other words, eventually over time it's going to shave that bone down to a normal size. Right now the bone's just way bigger than it needs to be because it overheals. But anyways, I rode the bike today. I went out and picked up lunch. I think in the morning I'm not going to go too much traffic. People are still going to work, I think, because when I ride in the morning to pick up breakfast, I usually leave like 7:15, and I see a lot of people driving, leaving, and coming. So that tells me people are still working. But around the afternoon for lunch, I don't see a lot of traffic, and that's when I usually go because I have to take the streets. And not take the sidewalk because the part where I get before the bridge where I jackknife the Red Rover, they're doing construction and they've dug up the cement and they're taking up all that. There's no way I can get on the sidewalk, so I have to actually take the street and ride on the street. And so, which I don't mind. I get to the high school faster to pick up lunch. So anyway, so that's what I'm doing, and that's what I will be doing. So I'll be making more of those videos, those riding videos, riding the Red Rover. Take a lot of time, because I got the GPS overlay, and I got several angles and several views of riding the bike and everything, and they take quite a bit more time and effort to make those videos. But I'm going to make those videos mostly on the Rad Mini. Mostly on the Rad Mini. I do have the Rad Mini step through, which, if it's possible, I will take my youngest with me. She's been cooped up in the house for a month. Everybody's been cooped up in the house for a month. It felt good to ride the bike. I felt good. I got some good exercise. My leg felt like a noodle, and man, I was pedaling. Even with an electric bike, my legs were feeling like a noodle, but it felt good. It felt good to be outside. I usually wear my buff. I did not wear an N95 mask after driving out there and driving out where I live. I don't think it's a problem, but I'll talk about that a little bit later, because uh, where I live as a zip code is the most confirmed cases in Fort Bend County, but where I live within that zip code, I think I'm okay, and the area that I'm at, it's kind of, you know, open spaces, and again, I'm riding on the streets and not riding on the sidewalk, so I'm trying to actually avoid people as much as possible. But I am wearing a face covering. It's a buff. It doesn't help too much, but it's, I guess, better than nothing. And hopefully I'm zooming by people and not breathing their exhale. A bunch of people walking and jogging is what I saw. More than usual. I guess when you have a lot of people at home, they more people want to exercise, I guess. So, all right. So I'm sorry. Yes, Trump finally temporarily shuts down immigration. I did a writing video. I talked about that right before I broke my hand, actually. Um, but the candidate that shuts that border down, or shuts down immigration or borders or something, is most likely going to win the upcoming election. And so, considering President, the current president, Donald Trump, has been pushing that for years and years, and also bringing jobs back into America and out of China and other places. That's everything's just playing right into his hands. I just can't see any opposition winning, because they were, it seems, if you had to go up against Donald Trump, you had to be against whatever he was doing, which would be opening borders, right? Free trade, right? Or exporting jobs, or globalism. It's, in this environment, if you ran on that kind of platform, you're dead. You're dead in the water. Just so many people are unemployed, and everything that Donald Trump's been saying over the last 3 years has really played into his hands right now. So just want to leave that a note. Another thing I did want to talk about before I get into the numbers was the Black Swan of the Black Swan of the Black Swan event, and that is conflict. Conflict. Remember, we are all in self-preservation, not only like personally, but every nation state is literally in self-preservation. So there could be food shortages, political instability. You know, we're talking about a potential warring, going into conflict for resources. All right, resources, especially food and other materials. And so that is the Black Swan event of the Black Swan of the Black Swan of the Black Swan event within the Black Swan event of this global pandemic. That's the only other thing I foresee. So me getting about body armor and stocked up on some ammo, and I already had my guns and my rifle. I'm good to go. All right, so that's the Black Swan event. There, it's possible. It's possible. That's the only thing that might be the wild card before the election. But even then, if there was a conflict, it would again play right into Donald Trump's hand. And, you know, I would pretty much at this point expect Donald Trump to be reelected at this point in time. Um, that's just my opinion. That's just what I think, but I could be wrong. I know there's a lot of people who might not agree with me. Feel free to rant in the comments if you want to. But anyways, let's get into the numbers. Let's take a look at the numbers. Oh my goodness, look at this number. All right, so we hit 800,000 one day after I talked about hitting 800,000 since April 20th. Um, so yeah, yesterday I rode my bike, so that's why I didn't do a COVID-19 video. But yeah, and new cases. Okay, so total cases 823,786. Okay, total new cases today. Oh, look, I got my halo. Got my halo back. New cases today. Oh, this is not good. Just when everything was looking good, it's not looking good. 39,460,000 or 39 39,460 new cases today. That is the highest I've seen so far, I believe. New death is 2,751 death today. New death with a total death of 44,845. All right, so let's take a look at the numbers, shall we? That's normal, and it looks like there's a little peak. Started peaking up just a little bit based on almost 40,000 new cases, which is a little bit more. Let's have a look at that log. Doesn't make a much difference on the log, but it is bending. It is bending, and it is flattening. On this chart here, there is no going down. There's just going to be a flat. But oh gosh, just when everything was going great. Just when everything was going great, it looked like it was gonna flatten and have a little downtrend, and pow, right in the kisser. So, well, America will try to reopen, but you know, it's only one day. It's only one day. It doesn't. It's just one day of confirmed cases. It may or may not mean something, but usually you don't want a new higher number in a flattening when you're trying to flatten the curve here. So look at that. Jeez. Yeah, almost 40,000. And here's the map of America. New York, wow, 258,000. In New Jersey, 92,000, almost 100,000, almost 100,000. These numbers just keep going up. So pretty much the upper northeast to the Midwest is kind of where you see a lot of that spread going around. Down here in the south, it looks like Florida and Georgia, and then it seems to skip over Alabama, Mississippi, and then Louisiana, Texas. Looks like they're sharing a lot of the infection here. Colorado is just like the only lone state. If you look around at surrounding areas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Utah, Colorado is just, I don't know. The only difference between all these Colorado and all these other states is that Colorado legalized weed. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. If you look at places that legalize weed, I mean, Nevada, I think legalized weed, but California, it's almost there, almost legalizing weed. Washington, definitely. Oregon, they did legalize weed, but they're doing a really good job of keeping the Washington infection and California infection out. Anyway, let's take a look here. New York is slowly going down. I don't know where the increase came from. I'll have to take a look at a different website to see where that increase has come. Here I am in Texas. Let's have a look at, yeah, 39,000. Look at that. Just pow, jumped up. Doing so well, and then pow. I don't know if the protests had anything to do with it. I don't think so because it's only been like 2 days, 3 days. That's not a lot of incubation time to feel the symptoms. I mean, to get tested and everything, to go through the system. Again, I don't know if these numbers are delayed or not, but either way, it's a lot. It's a lot, and maybe that might have been one of the reasons why I think the no immigration went into effect. These numbers started rising again. Plus, the economy is tanking. I think over 22 million filed for unemployment. 22 million people filed for unemployment. Amazing. So that might have been a reason for temporary, you know, no immigration kind of policy going on. Jeez. Anyways, all right, good job, COVID.bio, COVID.bio. Keep up the good work. Let's see here. Now I timed this around 7 o'clock, so these numbers are at 7, so they should. I should. It should. Let me take a look at what the difference was, especially these top areas. If there's anything spiking. Illinois? Is it Illinois? No, Illinois, Michigan. I don't see too much of a difference. Other than maybe Pennsylvania? No, not Pennsylvania. I don't see where it is. It may be somewhere in these mid states. These states that are kind of bordering, they're in no man's land. Either they're going to go up or they're going to go down. I have a feeling most of these states that are like, in the 10,000, 5,000s and lower numbers here, most likely their numbers are going to go up. It's just that logic dictates to me that, these states here with the lower numbers of confirmed cases, they're just going to go up. They probably aren't doing a lot of testing. And eventually, like any virus, it spreads and eventually just numbers go up. Numbers go up. All right, let me take a look at Texas real quick. Let's refresh it, make sure, see how it looks. And yeah, it's up 10%, above 10%. It's definitely no, it's trending below 10% now. So it's been consistent at 10%. And I am right here, numbers increasing right here, right in the thick of things. Harris County has the most confirmed cases. I think it had to do a lot with the Houston rodeo, in my opinion. So I got a little something special here. I have Fort Bend County coronavirus response here. So this is to all of Texas, worldwide. Okay, worldwide. Yes, worldwide death. Wow, 2.5 million. Anyway, so in the county, Fort Bend, and here's a map of where I am. Only 808 confirmed cases out of 1,637 total tests. That's actually about a 50% ratio there, but I think people are only getting tested who are actually sick enough to get tested or have the symptoms. So I think it's better screening. 18 death in the county where I am, and where I am is actually I'm right here, zip code 77459, 110 cases. This zip code where I am, which is Missouri City zip code, has the most confirmed cases in all of Fort Bend County, exception for the unincorporated areas. So that's the only difference there. So let's take a look at the stats, and we'll see. Again, I told you where I am has the most cases, 110 cases in that zip code, 77459 zip code in Fort Bend County. But where I live, we are a little separate. We are unincorporated portion of Missouri City, so that's why we have the sheriffs patrolling this area and not Missouri City police patrolling this area. So where I am within that zip code, I think I'm safe because when I ride my bike, it's spread out. A lot of people are staying home. A lot of people are staying home. You'll see, when you see the riding video, it won't come out until like May 1st or May 2nd. It's in the pipeline. But when I ride my bike, a lot of people are just at home. And the people who are out, they're exercising, walking, or jogging. A lot of people are exercising, walking, and jogging, more than usual. But I'm not going to be on the sidewalk. I'm going to be on the streets, and I'll be riding by with my buff on. Some people actually do wear some kind of face covering, but there's also some people who don't. And if you're running, breathing through a face covering is kind of hard. Although that's why I wear a buff, but a buff is not much of a face covering at all. So let's have a look at the age, and the age is very similar. Age is similar to the Texas demographics. Status. A lot of people end up recovering at home, at least in Fort Bend County. So the majority of the cases that you see, the 808 cases, they recover at home. So it could be just mild, not enough for you to actually go to the hospital, which is good news. Currently hospitalized 62, recovered and clear of infection 97, and then deceased 18. 18 people have died, most likely probably in the 70s, 70 plus. Although there's only 12 people, or is that 12%? I'm not sure. 14%. Okay. So that's the status. Gender is more females than males. Although, let me see here. Yeah, more females than males here in this particular county. I wonder why the news media isn't picking up on that females are more infected than males here. So it's amazing when you look at the media and you see what they're spewing out. Sometimes it's just like they just pick up on whatever they want to pick up on and run with it. So here is percentage of ethnicity or race. Not Asian, not Hispanic, 21. Whites are 19. Other 4%. Hispanic 22, and 34 Black, not Hispanic. And I think in the county that I'm in, that is proportionate to probably the population, because there is a 99-cent store where I live. So it makes sense if there's if there's an Asian market, there's probably a lot of Asians. And I am in the South, so there are a lot of blacks, and of course there are proportional of whites and Hispanics. This is probably the most diverse group that I've seen so far. I haven't looked at many, but and where I am, that seems about the right demographics. There's no death here. I don't see what the death numbers are, but there's only 18. It's probably people who are old, most likely. Let me see, what is this? Okay. So cases by precinct. All right. This is a huge area. All right. So I just want to share that with you there. So this is where I am. You should be looking at something like this in your area by county, and see what the threat status is in your area. Let's see, a little history here. Confirmed cases. Yeah, it looks like it's building up. It's building up. But hopefully it's flattening a little bit. Testing has increased, that's for sure. Okay, I'm just trying to look at some other information. Now, there's not really much. All right. Oh, here. Okay, so they do have a male to female death ratio here. Let me see what else is there. Oh, death by ethnicity. Okay. So they're this is amazing. I'm kind of seeing this all across the board now, even from China and other countries. Males tend to die more often than women, even though there are more women infected than men in here. That is very interesting. I should be very, very careful since I am a man last time I checked. So they do have related death through race and ethnicity. Asians are 3, Hispanic 2, Hispanic 4. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18. Okay, so that is 18 total. White, not Hispanic. More white people died, even though they represent only 19% of the population. Does race make a difference in this virus? No, it doesn't. It's just proportional to the population that get infected, and then from then on, it's your health condition. For whatever reason, what health condition you are, mainly majority is age. Age is the major factor. I'm going to assume that most of these people were over 60, over 69. Oh, here it is. Related death age. One is 1 to 17. Oh, that's unfortunate. Or is there? No. Nope. 4 and 14. Yeah. So everybody who died in this county was over 50. So there was 4 from 50 to 59, and then 14 that were over 70. So age is probably the major factor in this. Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm glad I saw that. Okay, well, anyways, I'm going to conclude this episode. Um, Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, everyone. Bye bye.